Sunny Bays, welcome back. I'm so glad you could make it. Oh, Romper is joining us this morning. This is the perfect kickoff to a cozy bookish edit video. I'm so excited because we're gonna try to cram a lot of cozy activities in this video today. Today is Sunday and Charlie and I didn't make a single social plan, so our calendars are wide open, which means that I get to steer the ship. And that means we're gonna do a bunch of cozy things like go to a romance bookstore. It's relatively new. It's in Alexandria, Virginia. I've been dying to go there because I think the vibes are just going to be perfect. Since we're going to be making our way all the way to Alexandria, we thought it would be really cute to start our day off with a cafe. Hopefully the coffee shops have all their fall themed drinks out because I am itching to grab one. We're also going to do a book haul. We'll do our September reading wrap up, October TBR. It's going to be full of bookish, cozy vibes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I did want to give you a little update of what I'm reading right now. I'm trying to finish this book by the end of September. Today is September 28th, so I think I got, including today, 3 days left. I think I can do it. It's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I have the dust jacket off of it because I hate reading hardbacks with the dust jacket on. It just flops everywhere and falls, so I decided to take it off. But anyway, I am about, I think, almost 2/3 of the way in. I'm on page 213 out of, I believe, like 330 something. So I have a good feeling that I'll be able to complete this by September 30th, and we can include this in our September reading wrap up. I'm not going to tell you too many details about this book just because it'll be included in the wrap up, but so far I'm really liking it. It's honestly not giving me 5 stars yet, but who knows, because I still got like 30% more to go. My thoughts and opinions about a book changes a ton in the last like 25%. So I have no doubts that this will have a very strong finish, but so far I think it's giving me like a 4. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid has such a knack for building a very intricate world, and she does so much research. It's so apparent in this story and narrative. But I just want a little bit more romance, and that's what I'm getting right now at this moment, like where I am in the book. So I'm very excited for that. Anyway, that is the reading update right now, exactly what I'm reading and where I am. But let's go ahead and head out to grab a fun fall drink and then go to the Friends to Lovers bookstore in Alexandria. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And then maybe we'll pick up a book because I love supporting local bookstores. Wow. I am eating up my words because this is a 5-star book. My gosh, I just finished Atmosphere and it was so good. I knew this would happen. It's always the last 20 to 30% of the book that makes it or breaks it for me, especially because most of the action happens at the tail end. But oh my gosh, it was a 4-star all the way until like 60% through, and then turned into a 5-star real quick. That ending was tragic, and I cannot believe TJR did that to us. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. I literally had whiplash. I was like, wait, what? What's going on? Anyway, that's what I've been doing since we got back home from the bookstore and lunch. It was my first time at Friends to Lovers bookstore, and it's a romance genre only bookstore. It was so cute. I had such a blast. I think we stayed there for like an hour, almost like over an hour. The person who was working there was also so nice. I was trying to get some recommendations from her for fall. She and I definitely had very different reading tastes, but I took her recommendations to heart and added some books on my TBR. I actually didn't end up picking up anything from there because all the books that she recommended and that were on the shelves that I was looking at, I would rather read on Kindle. I really wanted to support their business and try to buy something, but I felt really pressed on time as well, so we ended up leaving without anything. But I will definitely go back. After I do a little bit of thinking and research on my own, I will pick up something from that bookstore. They also had so many cute little things like merch. They had hoodies, t-shirts, Kindle cases, stickers, pins. Oh my gosh. It was the time of my life, clearly. And then we had lunch at this restaurant called Ellie Bird, and that was really nice too. It was started by 2 Michelin star restaurant chefs, I believe. I had the croquette and Charlie had the chicken sandwich, and we both really liked it. Drinks were also very good and refreshing. Wow, I feel like I'm definitely going to be in a book slump now because of atmosphere. Hopefully our October TBR will excite me to continue reading. I know it will because I am so excited to get into the fall vibes. I have this one particular book in mind that I definitely want to be able to choose for the October TBR with my TBR jar or TBR cards. I just kind of want something witchy, you know, to get ready for Halloween. I also would really love to start a new series, potentially fantasy or dark academia. I could be down for that as well. Let's do a mini book haul because I did get some book mail. I believe they're all from Owlcrate, which is a book subscription for special edition covers. So I will grab those and I'll be right back. All right, these are the books that are going to be part of the haul. I think Romper wants to join us. Oh, you wanna like really join me, huh? Okay, on the same seat? Is that what you want? Okay, you can, if you want. You gotta parkour. Oh, good job. Oh, how sweet. Since I have him on my lap, it's going to be a little bit harder. Let me clip my mic onto my top. This book I got really excited for because it's by an author that I do recognize from like Book Talk, BookTube. The name is T. Kingfisher, and I believe the author wrote a bunch of very popular series, but this one I've never heard of before. It's called Hemlock and Silver, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous. I love how the shifting color, oh my god, you guys are so far. Let me bring you closer. Oh, I have puppet paralysis though. How am I gonna do this? You know what? I'm gonna stay here so that I don't disturb the little guy, but I will put clips of me showing the books more closer up, like on the screen right here. Okay, so as I was saying, Hemlock and Silver, I literally have no clue what this is about. On the back, it just says all mirrors could be dangerous. So obviously fantasy, magic, it seems. A little creepy, so perfect for October if we are able to pick this one for our TBR. Artwork, as usual, it is stunning. Owlcrate is my favorite and my only book subscription now. On the inside of the dust jacket, it says, mirrors are like blood or bone or oak trees. All the magic is in what is done to them. It's about a healer who drinks poison to seek cures for illnesses, and then she ends up helping a king to save his daughter, but that she finds this magic mirror. So yeah, it seems pretty creepy and otherworldly. I feel like this would be perfect for Halloween time. But yeah, this looks awesome. I'm glad that we got a book that we recognize the author of. The next book is from the Sci-Fi Quarterly Book subscription, also by Owlcrate. And this one I've also not heard anything of. It doesn't have the best reviews on Fable. I think it has under like 3.5 stars, but that's okay. I don't think all books are for everyone. This one is called Metallic Realms, and it's by Lincoln Michael. On the back it says, science fiction isn't a portal to other worlds, it is a mirror held up to our own. I think this is about like a bunch of friends who try to like travel to a different universe or something. Oh, actually, it's about a writing group with a bunch of friends. It's set in Brooklyn, and it says that the line between real and unreal becomes dangerously thin. The cover is actually really funny. It has like these different creatures or monsters, space monsters perhaps. It has a robot on it too, but yeah, this looks like a fun sci-fi read. It feels a little bit more approachable in a way. This one, oh my gosh, okay, I am highly anticipating because this is fall vibes, peak fall vibes. And it is called Well, Actually, and I feel like this has been floating around social media for a while, so I don't think I need to explain too much, but this is by Maisie Eddings. The cover, it has like fall leaves and trees. Oh my gosh, I love these colors together, like the blue with the orange. The setting looks very city, New York type of thing. Even the sprayed edges are like the fall leaves. I'll show you a close-up here, but oh my gosh, I love the cover of this. This is the quarterly romance book with Owlcrate. Oh, this one is actually really cool. It's a signed copy. Very nice. Oh my gosh, it has a little hot dog on the front. That's so funny. It says Ava Kitt is a host of a talking show where they interview B-list celebrities. So she actually calls out her ex from college that he ghosted her. Now he is like a well-known social media personality who is teaching men on social media online to be decent partners by deconstructing toxic masculinity. She's forced to confront him on a live episode of Sausage Talk, which I guess is the name of like the podcast or the media that she uses. But it sounds super funny, like a rom-com. I'm very excited to read this. I hope I get to pick this for one of the books this fall for like October or November. That would be ideal. Anyway, those were all the books that I got from Owlcrate. The only other book that I have to show you is actually a book that was written by my friend's mom. Isn't that crazy? That is so cool and such a big accomplishment. I am so proud of her. The friend that I'm talking about, who is the daughter of the author of this book, she is my friend from high school. We went to high school together and we kept in contact like briefly, but then we reconnected as adults and we've been really close friends. I'm actually going to her wedding in, I want to say 1 or 2 weeks from now, maybe 2 weeks. I picked up this tiny little cute book. It's called Joey the Esky, and Joey is their family dog, and it's really heartwarming because he was around when I was friends with her and I would come over to their house and see him, and he was like the most beautiful looking dog ever, so floofy and friendly. He unfortunately passed, I believe, a couple years ago, and she decided to write kind of like a memoir for him, which I love. It's so heartwarming. So yeah, I decided to pick it up in honor of Joey and to support wherever I can. So yeah, this is Joey the Esky. I think this would be a really sweet short read if you love dogs or if you have children who love dogs as well. So yeah, definitely check it out. That is the end of the book haul. I know I have fewer than I've typically had in the past, but I think we got some really good options for the fall. Good morning. We are now sitting down at our desk to do our September reading wrap up. I totally forgot what month we were ending. Quick side note, Charlie and I last night cozied up on our couch and we decided to watch some Netflix together, and we realized that we have not, I know it feels like a sin to say this, but we have not watched the K-pop Demon Hunters yet. So we ended up doing that last night and it was so fun. Oh my gosh. I feel embarrassed to say that I've been like holding off on watching it because I was like, I don't want to get on the bandwagon. It's probably going to be like really cliche, and I don't know, I just like didn't know what I was expecting from it. I thought it was just going to be like a childish kind of show, or I didn't even know it was a movie. I thought it was a show. But I will eat my words. It was so good and the music was bomb. I am literally about to download all the music on my Spotify. That's how much I loved it. I just thought it was going to be like a silly little thing that I didn't need in my life, but clearly I did. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and jump into our September reading wrap up. This is going to be a really short and sweet one. I only read 3 books this month, and it's because honestly, I just had so many social plans. I was also traveling in Hawaii for about 8 days, so I didn't get to read any books during those days because I was just like so busy island hopping, hotel slash Airbnb hopping. I was a lot busier than I expected to be because I thought that I was going to be able to read a lot during that vacation, thinking that I was going to go to the beach and relax and decompress by reading, but it didn't happen. We were going around everywhere. That said, I am proud to say that I read 2 books that were on our September TBR, and one of them was our Sunset Reading Fable Book Club's book pick. I'll get to that in just a second, but let's go in chronological order of what I read first in September, which is called Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I actually read it on my Kindle. This one is a romance book, and I decided to read this because I needed something fast-paced after reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is like a cozy fantasy, which I didn't really love. It was just really too slow for my preference, so I just needed something real quick, perhaps something fluffy. In addition to that, I decided to pick Every Summer After because of the summer vibes. We were at the end of summer, so I needed a summer book to commemorate. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I honestly don't even remember the plot of this book, so I'm gonna have to look it up. That's when you know it's not a outstanding book by any means, because you don't even remember the characters, the plot, anything. I feel like this happened to me on her other book as well. This Summer Will Be Different. I think I actually liked that one more than Every Summer After. In a nutshell, it's about Percy and Sam. They are childhood best friends. They just get each other on a different level than anyone else. They do absolutely everything together. Percy sees him every single summer because her family owns a lake beach cottage of some sort in that same area as them. I think they become neighbors. After many summers, they decide to officially date. It starts out strong, but obviously some conflict rises when they get a little bit older and something catastrophic happens eventually and they decide to break up. Years later, under stressful circumstances, they end up seeing each other again, so it's kind of forced proximity. They are faced with all the conflict again, trying to resolve what happened. In terms of star rating, I gave this a 3.25. I will say the summer vibes were very, very strong, and I'm glad that I read the book at the end of the summer. I also thought the writing style was fun and fast-paced. The characters were well developed, but I really disliked the main conflict that happened in this book. If you know, you know, but it's definitely a big personal preference thing. If you are able to look past the conflict, then I think this book will be very enjoyable for you, and it did tie up very nicely, but for me, it did knock down a star. So I landed at a 3.25 and I feel good about that. And honestly, it just wasn't memorable for me, so I couldn't give it anything higher than a 3.25, 3.5. The next book we have is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and I am so glad that I gave this a chance. I am not the one to dive into cozy fantasies that often because I find them kind of boring, to be very frank. Usually I find them slow, and I was especially scared that this would be exactly the same because I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold really recently, and that's also a cozy fantasy, but this was such a shocking discovery for me. I mean, I heard nothing but amazing, incredible, fabulous things about this book so far, so I should have had no doubts, but just because of the genre, I was a little concerned, but oh my gosh, this so good. I want to read the second book ASAP. I actually had no idea that this is part of a series. There are 3 or 4 other books out, which is so fun. I am definitely going to work my way through those other books at some point. Hold on, sorry, let me get a sip of my coffee. Do you like my mug right here? It says I'd rather be in bed. I think this is such a unique concept that I have never seen in a previous book before, but I mean, I am more of a newer reader because I didn't start getting back into reading as an adult until like only 2 years ago. That said, I think this is one of my top books of the year. I gave it a 4.75 stars. That is so high, almost a 5. I don't know. I think eventually, like with time, I'll understand if it's truly a 5-star book or not, but but it didn't give me 5-star feelings, but almost there, just like so close. I couldn't stop thinking about this book for the couple days afterwards. I definitely had kind of a book hangover. To give you a very brief synopsis, because everyone has already talked about this book online, it's about a young girl named Dora who lives with her aunt and her cousin. She unfortunately lost half of her soul because a fairy stole it from her due to a bargain slash negotiation slash mistake that her mom made in the past. Because she only possesses half a soul, all of her emotions like excitement, embarrassment, anger, happiness, all of those are dulled down significantly. Fast forward a few years, Dora and her cousin are now women. They're in the period of their lives where they need to find someone to marry because this is set in the Regency era. They live in England and they decide to travel to London, to the city, to meet some bachelors. During this time, they get themselves into quite an adventure because they feel like there might be a solution to getting the rest of her soul back. That's all I'll say about this book. I really do think that this is such a cozy fall type of book. So if you're looking for something to read this season, this would be perfect for you. I obviously thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was the first cozy fantasy book that I have ever actually enjoyed and gave it higher than like a 4-star. Last but not least, you already know that I've been reading this book, and it's Atmosphere by TJR or Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one is about a character named Joan Goodwin, and it's about her journey becoming an astronaut. She joins one of the first female NASA programs of her period, and it's set in the 1980s. She's trying to navigate through her challenges as being a female in the NASA program and also her family dynamic as well. She has some drama on that front. She also meets someone during her time here, so it's a love story for sure. Oh my gosh, this was so heartbreaking and emotionally charged. I freaking love this book. I gave it 5 stars if you can't tell. I really love the characters. I thought this was like watching a movie. It was that vivid in my mind. I was rooting for the characters so hard. I think it had the most balanced parts of what makes a book amazing. It had the right amount of plot, the right amount of education on the topic, like the matter at hand, which is space and NASA and astronauts and all that stuff. It had the right amount of romance. I will say I wanted more romance at the beginning, but we didn't get it until like more towards the end, which it's fine. Right amount of drama because, you know, there's a lot of drama. I thought it was beautifully written. Everything was described to perfection, and I will be thinking about this story for a long time. And that ending, masterfully done. All right, those are all the books that I read in September. I am so excited to jump into October reading. I already started a book, but I'm not counting it in our September wrap up because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it by the end of this month, which is tomorrow. I started the X-Hex, which is a very fun read so far. I'm about, I wanna say 30 pages in, so not too far in, but I'm enjoying it so far. It is finally time to pick our books for October, and I have 2 different methods of picking out the prompts for this month, and one of them is the trusty old TBR cards that I got from Etsy a while ago, and then I also started making a TBR jar. Isn't this so cute? I found this little mini vase in my kitchen a while back, and I was like, this would be the perfect little jar for all of my handwritten TBR prompts. It literally looks like there aren't that many prompts in here, but I promise there are. It's just that this jar is huge and I don't have enough ideas to fill this up to the brim, but hopefully over time it'll just become more and more full. I'm really hoping for some cozy reads this month because we are finally in October, and October is one of my favorite months to read. Fall is hands down my absolute favorite season, and I think I can argue probably that it is the best season for reading. Before we get started, just to give you a little bit of context, I on average read read anywhere around 3 to 5 books per month. So what I like to do is use these TBR prompts to pick out 3 books that I want to prioritize reading for that month. The 3 books that get chosen in this video will land on a poll for my Sunset Reading Book Club on Fable. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description if you would like to join and partake in this activity. In that poll, you'll be able to choose 1 out of the 3 books to read as a group in the club where we can discuss in the forums and things like that. So I would love for you to join. Without further ado, let's go ahead and finally get started. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and pick the first prompt with our TBR jar. I honestly don't even remember what prompts made their way into this jar because it's been so long since I've worked on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick one. My handwriting is atrocious in these prompts, just FYI, because I'm gonna be embarrassed when I show it to you. Let's go ahead and pick this one. I'm gonna open it so you can see it. I'm not sure if it'll focus, but it says book with a scenic cover. Ooh. I feel like that has a lot of different interpretations. So I feel like I could manipulate this into me being able to pick a book that I want to read this season. I'm gonna look at the books on my physical TBR first, and they are in these 2 shelves on the bottom because I always like to prioritize reading my physical books over my Kindle books. I feel like this definitely counts as a scenic cover, and it's one of the books that I hauled in today's video. It's called Well Actually by Maisie Eddings, and it is very much a fall scenic cover. You know what I'm saying? I love the front and the back as well. It just has kind of a cityscape with all these autumn leaves and everything. I think the colors on this book are so beautiful. Selfishly, I want to pick this one just because I think this will definitely help me go straight into the fall vibes, especially because I want all the cozy vibes in this video too. This is a very strong contender. I'm definitely leaning towards this, but let's go ahead and look at some other ones to see if we have any other options. I'm not sure if this would count as scenic, but I definitely do love the cover on the back because it has a lovely waterfall right below a castle. So I would count that as scenic. This one is The Treachery of Swans, hopefully I'm saying that right, by A.B. Poranic. This is a special edition that I got from Illumicrate. It's a subscription box service, kind of like Owlcrate. I was really excited when I got this in the box because Illumicrate can be kind of a hit or miss, and this was one of the ones that I was very excited for. The front is not as scenic in my opinion, but the back is absolutely stunning. As I said, there's like a castle and then a very scenic illustration of a waterfall. So I feel like this could also count, and this also kind of gives me fall winter vibes, honestly. It's kind of eerie, it's definitely fantasy. I tend to really enjoy reading fantasy books in the fall, especially because I don't know, something about the fantasy world and the magic and everything, it brings me straight into the colder season. I feel like I could potentially pick this book with some of the other prompts, so I might put this back. Let me quickly look at my Kindle TBR and see if there are any interesting scenic covers that I can see. Okay. Oh man, okay, so this one is also, I feel, could be a very strong contender, and it's The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I'll put a picture of the cover right here so you can see since I'm looking at it through my iPhone. I would definitely consider this as a scenic cover because it looks like you are looking up into the sky with all these stars. There's also some trees in the background if I'm looking at this correctly. This is a really popular book that everyone I feel has read already, and I feel like I'm very late on the bandwagon on this, and I have heard that it is very fall appropriate, so that could also work really, really well. I am honestly debating between that and Well Actually. Oh, this is a hard decision. Oh gosh. I really want to read both of them, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to pick another prompt that would work for the other book if I choose one or the other. Oh gosh, this is so hard. Which one would fit the prompt better? A book with a scenic cover. I have to give it to, I think, The Unmaking of June Farrow, because it's just like such a beautiful sky with stars and just like in the woods. I feel it has like trees all over it. I don't know. I feel like this definitely is more of a scenic cover by definition. So I'm going to pick The Unmaking of June Farrow as a book with a scenic cover. That was tough. Oh my gosh, I feel sad putting this back. Let's do another prompt from the TBR jar because I feel like the jar is just like so satisfying to pull out a prompt like with the little paper. Alrighty. Let's do this. I'm gonna pick this one. Here you go. I'm not sure if it'll focus, but it says a book you think will make you laugh. Definitely none of these. I can't imagine a high fantasy book that would make you actually laugh. I don't know, maybe. It's just not as common, I would think. Maybe this one just because of the kind of fun title. This is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. And this is also an Illumicrate exclusive cover that I got from their subscription box when I had it. It says at the back, the best love stories begin with hate at first sight. So it does feel kind of sarcastic, a little bit of play with words. It's an enemies to lovers romantasy. I'm reading the synopsis on the cover and it doesn't actually seem very funny. So I don't think this would actually make me laugh. I don't know. Let me see any of the other ones here on the bottom. To be honest with you, I feel like in order for a book to make me laugh, it might have to be kind of like a fluffy rom-com, just because those tend to have the most amount of dialogues between characters and they tend to be a little bit more funny. For example, like Abby Jimenez books, I've definitely laughed in, even in some Emily Henry books. So maybe I need to find a book that is on the genre of rom-com. Let me look at my Kindle. Oh, are we gonna pick another Kindle book? I feel like this would be cheating if I pick the X-Hex for this prompt because the X-Hex definitely feels lighthearted and funny and it's like a cozy witchy fantasy book. So I kind of want to pick that. Is that cheating? You know what? I feel like maybe this book might also make me laugh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am definitely picking this book because literally this one is the one about the Sausage Talk, which is the talk show or podcast for interviewing B-list celebrities. Yeah, this feels more on par with the prompt, but also I wouldn't have to cheat. So I'm gonna pick this one and it is so perfect for the fall. Amazing. So we got one Kindle book and one physical book. Third and last book for our October TBR. Let's use the jar again because I feel like it's just a vibe, you know? I love doing this. All right, let's pick the final prompt. I hope it's a good one. Alrighty. This one, what does it say? Hopefully it's not backwards. Okay, there we go. That is the prompt. And it says, read a book from a previous TBR. This is actually perfect because oh man, I have two books in mind. One of them is Divine Rivals, which is on my Kindle. That has been on my TBR maybe a couple months ago, or maybe last year. I don't even remember anymore. I swear, anyone who makes book content on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, whatever, they have read this series and absolutely loved it, especially the first book of the series. So that has definitely been on my previous TBR that I could use for this prompt. The second option that I can think of is Rouge, which was on our September TBR that I didn't get to, which I'm kind of glad that I didn't because September was so hot and I was in Hawaii, which is a very tropical state. So Rouge was definitely not the vibe that I was going for because it's about like a cult and it's a little spooky, a little creepy, so it would actually be perfect for October. I don't know, which one should we do? Divine Rivals or Rouge? I think we should go with Rouge because it's just a little bit more on theme with Halloween. I also feel like Divine Rivals I can definitely choose for November or December because it does give me a little bit of like wintry vibes. How many times can I say vibe in this video? Clearly many times. All right, I'm gonna choose Rouge and hopefully it'll actually get read this month. All right, let's go ahead and do a little recap of all the books that are in my October TBR. For a book with the scenic cover, we chose The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. For a book you think will make you laugh, we chose Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. Last but not least, a book from a previous TBR, we chose Rouge by Mona Awad. Before we go ahead and end this video, I wanted to give you a quick mini update on the X-Hex because I am thoroughly enjoying this I'm laughing because Charlie just made a weird face in the background. By the way, he actually baked us cookies, and that's what you saw like just now. And they're looking a little interesting to say the least. They're very puffy, but I'm sure they will taste delicious. But that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna go cuddle on the couch, watch a movie, and eat some cookies. Anyway, back to business. So the X-Hex, I am at around 43% through the book. It's really fun. It's a fun time. I really love our characters so far. I like how the female character is a little sassy, and the male character, he's also a little sassy, a little grumpy, but still kind of like playful. I really feel like this is the perfect kind of cozy, witty, charming, witchy Halloweeny book for sure. I also recently remembered that this book is actually the first book in a series. I believe there are 2 more books out after this. Very intrigued. I'm probably not gonna be able to get to the rest of them before Halloween comes around, but I definitely have some options for next year. So that's a good thing. I also do appreciate that even if the cover looks really cutesy, not super serious, and also because it's like a Halloweeny, cute, witchy book, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of depth or anything, but it's kind of high stakes. The plot actually has some complexity to it, which I really appreciate in a book like this, because I obviously need the plot to be enjoyable as well. Just because it's fall themed, I'm not gonna like love it as much if it's just kind of like fluffy and surface level. I also do really enjoy the romance so far. So yeah, 43%. I cannot wait to read a little bit more tonight. Are you gonna try to jump? He always wants to. Okay, you wanna say bye to the folks too? Come here. Alrighty, he's gonna join me again. Here you go. I'll let you be the center of the show. Let me know in the comments if you have any book recommendations for this time of the year, August, November, December, because I have a feeling if even for this month, I'm gonna be able to read more than 3 books. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because I miss reading more. The past couple of months, I've just been so busy and my life has been absolutely chaotic that I haven't been able to prioritize reading, but I definitely want this fall to be full of reading. All the fantasies, all the thrillers and mystery novels. I just can't wait. If you want to stick around a little longer, definitely go ahead and check out my previous video right here. This is my post-travel reset vlog, and it features a bunch of soft productivity activities. I had a lot of fun creating this vlog, so I would love it if you would check it out. I think the next video is actually going to be a haul, which I haven't done in quite a while. I decided to do it because previously I gave a little sneak peek of my first ever Miu Miu purchase. I got a new handbag, if you didn't know, so that'll definitely be included. But yeah, everyone's been asking for a haul, so I will definitely do that soon. Please like if you haven't already, subscribe if you want more cozy content on soft productivity and balanced living, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.